Good morning to all traders and welcome to another Markets and Waves video. Today is the 31st of March. As I said yesterday, we are expecting moves to continue being a little bit volatile as this is the end of the month, the end of the quarter, and is going to be, these few sessions are going to be quite interesting to watch, and we're expecting big moves along with either continuations or like even reversals, which I'm more keen, to be honest, to see, particularly on the euro dollar and on the US index. Apart from those two though, today we're going to have a quick look on the pound, S&P, as well as silver. Now, without further ado, let's just jump straight to it. As you will remember, we looked at this triangle last week. Yeah. Now you might say that this is invalidated, but this is not really correct because it can be overthrown. Waves E actually tend to be overthrown, especially in waves 4. And wave 2 can be obviously just a part of a W, X, and Y. So yeah, it's a different case there, and usually they're not overthrown. So I'm looking at this cluster, guys, because it's the 50 Fibonacci extension and also the 78.6 Fibonacci extension of waves C and D over here. Okay, so I think 93.50 could be perhaps the level that we might start correcting. We might finish the correction, correct that, and then continue lower finally for wave 5. We do have a very nice signal here on the MACD that I've been tracking for a while now. We could get a break of this as well. Still, the relationship is not going to break. Just going to have to draw a different angle for this particular trend line. Now, as you well know, in case we extend above that level, I would want to probably assume that as an overthrown wave is a bit too much to be overthrown. So would probably return back to this being a WX, yeah, Y, something like that, like a double zigzag here, okay, and that potentially could get us up to 94.51. So this cluster, 93.40, yeah, and will be the level that I'll be watching very, very, very closely. Now, euro dollar has something of some similarities, of course, obviously, but here's the thing. Last time I've made some changes here because we talked about the potential of this doing a full retracement, right? So for the full retracement, we didn't want to break below wave 2, 117.42. We did break, but we also talk about the opportunity that in case we break below, it means that we'll have to recount, relabel. Not recount, the count was there anyway, relabel this move on the upside, because I was looking at this as wave 3 was down there, I was looking at this as 1, 2, then 3, F4, and F5. In this case, in the minor degree. However, now move the wave 3 up here, yeah, because this is an ended move on the upside, which means now we are doing a minor wave move on the downside and potentially looking for a double bottom here between the two waves for 116.06. I mean, we might just get the 116 as well, but in either case, this is what I'm looking for now, which means that euro dollar might fall a little bit further down. It has more technicals to fall further down, which means also the index might break the relationship with the overthrow, right, and turn into a double zigzag. But for now, we're still confident that this can be an overthrow, okay? We remain adamant for now that this is a triangle. We could get prices to move down to 150, 117 as well, or even below, and then start moving higher, still overthrow. But again, in case that's not the case, then we're going to look at this with a different eye. Perhaps that could be a W, that could be an X, yeah, and then this would be W, X, Y, X, and Z, perhaps, like a triple zigzag in this case. Yeah, that would make sense. Or it could be a case where alternative that is like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is wave 1, or A, sorry, not 1, B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's going to be a C. Okay, in either case, we are looking at a similar signal here and on the RSI as well for euro dollar. So we'll have the extra signal on the RSI. So the potential to start moving higher and finally break 123.50 is good. Okay, especially now closer to the end of this month. That's for the euro dollar as well. Now, pound dollar, guys, last week we talked about, and it's actually happened. I'm pretty happy about this development. We're talking about this being the end of this move to the downside for wave 3, and we're expecting a correction to be rejected up here, and that's happened. So no move now down impulsively. It looks like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. To me, this is what it looks, and then 4 and 5. So perhaps 135.43 is where wave 1 is going to end. Then we're going to get 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can see that is going to be minor wave 3. So the downside potential here, in my opinion, is quite big. Yeah. Now, we've got this very good supporting signals as well last week on the RSI and the MACD, which seem to be validated now with the latest move on the downside. Now, the next level to look is the previous low, of course, 130.67, because again, it could be a case where this is all an ABC, yeah, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to start moving higher, which many people might expect if given the trajectory of the dollar, of the US index. So these two scenarios are also here. Let's go quickly over the S&P. S&P was last Friday. We looked at it, if I'm not mistaken, and we moved higher as we expected because we did a very nice bounce down at the 50 Fibonacci retracement over here. And now we moved up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is a wave 1 for me. Then we've got this move on the downside. Here we look corrective. So perhaps we're going to get another leg down. 39.31, 39.16, who knows? But anywhere that we can get perhaps a signal also supporting from the RSI and from the MACD, or even if we don't, you know, the case is that, yes, after that, wave 3 is going to be in, and wave 3 is going to go to at least 4100s. 4100s, that's a break, yeah, of the all-time high and the 4K as well. And it will be, of course, welcomed by stock investors. Now, the other scenario is that we are still, you know, we're still correcting, and we're gonna, this is like an ABC, yeah, and this is an A, B, and a C over here, and then we're gonna get like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for a flat, like, because it looks like we had a pinch above the previous high over here. It can be considered like an expanding flat or a running flat down at the 38.80. So I'll be looking at this particular two scenarios on the downside, yeah, and also the other case is just this just simply tends like to be a regular flat, yeah, or a W, X, and Y. But obviously the one we can exclude for now is a triangle because we're on wave 2. So that is the one that for sure we're not going to see. So this is the scenario here for the S&P as well. And silver, guys, finally, we are breaking below. I've been expecting for this move for a while. That means that we can still consider this, as I've been calling for months now, a running flat. That running flat, I want to see down to 23. Yeah, it could go lower, or even and anywhere between, to be honest, and then start moving higher, because this is going to be primary wave 4, guys, and after this primary wave 4, we're going to get primary wave 5, and we're looking, well, we're looking at a fresh high, of course, for sure. So, question here, though, is this really an ABC? Is this like overthrow? One might ask. And I could also say that the alternative scenario points at the same direction, and this is what really matters. I mean, from a technical perspective, we are still consider this as an ending diagonal, yeah? But also, in case we break lower, and this is not really an overthrow, because it would be overextended, then the other scenario would be that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, yeah? This is a correction, and then we get 1, 2, yeah? And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to get 3, then 4, and 5, which means we're going to head lower. And in case that happens, it means that we're going to get closer to 2116. because at the end of the day, running flat guys can go down to like 95% or so correction. Yeah. So in that case, it means that we'll have an impulse on the downside rather than an ending diagonal. And the impulse will have a multi-structure wave 3 internally. Okay. Because, well, that scenario is also possible, technically speaking. So there you have it. Thank you for watching again, guys. If you have any questions, as always, do not hesitate to leave your comment on our YouTube section, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Take care out there, and we'll speak again on Friday.